Hi everybody, it's Brad.
I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead, and today we are making garlic powder. So let's get cracking. Now, garlic powder is one of those things that we use pretty much religiously, almost in
everything.
in everything we cook. And the reality is that we've got garlic growing in the garden, but it takes a long time. And when you get a smoking deal like we got on these peeled, ready-to-use garlic cloves, you take them, you make the garlic powder now. And we got, I think it was 6 pounds for
$14.
Yeah, and this will last us probably a couple years.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have plenty of garlic to harvest later, but right now today we're going to show you how to make garlic powder. It's easy, you'll never go back. Oh, one other thing too. The thing about this is, yeah, it's 14 bucks, but it's going to last you a couple years, number one. And number two, the quality level is so far beyond anything that you're going to buy in the store. So here we go, garlic powder, engage.
So the first thing you're gonna need to do is get your garlic ready for your food processor. If you're pulling your garlic out of the garden, you're gonna need to get it all peeled and ready to throw in.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Just like that.
Just
peeled
like those.
And ready to go.
So now we're gonna put this in our food processor so you get the pieces of garlic relatively small so that it takes less time to dehydrate. And I'll do them in small batches so that they get nice and fine. So this is what you're looking for. Nice, fine, pretty uniform pieces. Now it's time to load the garlic pieces into the dehydrator. Now there is a trick that I learned. Now, garlic can get pretty sticky when it's dehydrating, so I like to put a piece of parchment down on top of the jelly tray so that it doesn't stick to the jelly tray. Get those out onto the parchment, evenly spread out so that there's not large clumps that take too long to dry. Now this is what you want it to look like. Nice and spread apart so that the air can flow through the garlic in the dehydrator.
Now, one super duper important, really important tip that you're gonna wanna do with this as you dehydrate it is that you're gonna wanna do it outside. You are absolutely gonna wanna do this outside. It's gonna save your house from smelling like garlic for weeks. It'll probably save your marriage, trust me. Do this outside. It'll save your eyes, no burning, no weeping of gnashing of the teeth and the whatnot, outside. So now for the dehydrator, we go ahead and turn it on 160. We're gonna leave it for several hours. I don't even usually check it for the first 8 hours because you wanna get all of that moisture out of there. Sometimes we'll come out and test it, and you may have to readjust how the garlic is sitting on there so that it's not all clumped into one area. You can kind of swoosh it around, smoosh it around, but make sure it's completely 100% dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, now that our garlic has dried out thoroughly in the dehydrator, it's time to grind it up. You can use a food processor, you could use a coffee grinder. We're using this little, it's like a stick blender kind of thing attachment. But you go ahead and put that garlic down in there and you just grind it into a powder that, well, frankly, whatever floats your boat. If you like big chunks, use big chunks. If you want it fine powder, make it fine powder. But I gotta warn you, this is garlicky. The flavor is really bold. You don't nearly need to use as much as you're used to. So let's grind on, shall we? So now here's what we end up with. We like a few of the pieces in there, but some of the powder, and this is a massively bold flavor. Yeah. So there it is, folks, fresh garlic powder to whatever size chunks you want. If you want it wispy, you can have it wispy.
You could also do slices.
You want chunky? Oh, just take a look at me, just saying. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you do, please do like and subscribe, and actually share. We really appreciate that. It does help our family out. I'm Brad.
I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead, and you guys have a very flavorful day.